This Portsmouth Daily Times morning update is brought to you by Advanced 360 Progressive Rehabilitation Center, located at 2125 Royce Street in Portsmouth. Call 354-6635 or visit advanced-360.com. Heal faster, home sooner.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Week 4 preview show for prep football in the Portsmouth area. I'm Bob Strictly and with me is Cody Leist. It's been a great season of football so far. Let's just go ahead and recap the two games that we covered in Week 3. You were at Minford and what was the...
Piketon.
Piketon. Was that Piketon? Okay.
No, it was at Minford.
Oh, it was at Minford.
Yes.
You played Piketon.
Yes.
What happened there?
It was a game between two teams that were 1-1 last week. Obviously, a big 9/11 tribute that I think everybody had. Mm-hmm. Nice to see that. Minford coming off of a really devastating loss to Wellston in Week 2, they were able to go in and get the running game going. They were able to find some big holes for a lot of their tailbacks, Snyder and Gaines. It looked like they were pretty much in control for the first half. Second half, the Red Streaks were able to come back. They did a pretty good job. Isaac Brabson's looking like he's a little bit more comfortable playing quarterback for the Red Streaks. They just had a couple of miscues where down late they had all three timeouts. They didn't use them. That was kind of an odd thing to see. And they had a couple of fumbles where it kind of hurt them towards the end. But still, they look pretty good. Like they're going to be in the SVC race this year. They start theirs Week 1. In conference tonight up at Westfall, so they'll be comfortable. Minford looks really good. Again, shaking the rust off everything. What about you? You were over at Portsmouth Berg at Portsmouth.
Yeah, and it was the first three drives of that game for both teams all ended like this. They dropped the ball. And that's basically the story of the first half. There was very little scoring. The second half started with Wheelersburg going for basically what was an onside kick and getting it. They didn't get any points out of it, but you could just feel the air get sucked out of the stadium there. And the final was 28-19. It's unusual to see a game like that starts with so many turnovers and had such few points in the first half just kind of blow up in the second half. And Portsmouth now goes to 0-3, and Wheelersburg is 2-1.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's talk about the games that we're going to be looking at this week. First of all, we have Portsmouth on the road. First SEOAL game of the season. They travel to Vincent to go take on the Warren Warriors. Mm-hmm. It was a game that I talked to Kurt earlier this week, and he says that he's still the eternal optimist when it comes to football. He says we've got at least a half a season left to go, and this is right now their second season going into league play. This is something that they're really looking forward to. Now, with this game, Warren is a Division II school, so obviously the numbers game is something that Kurt is really looking at. He's kind of hoping that a lot of his guys are going in and are able to maybe be able to match up athlete for athlete and still be able to wear the Warriors down. The one thing that Kurt is really kind of hoping for is the turnover battle. They are, again, something that they were struggling in with last week. When you were covering them, you noticed.
It's something they've been struggling with every week. They turn over the ball. They make mistakes. And, talking to Clifford each week, we've talked to him. He's always said that they do everything they can to make sure the players are ready and take care of the ball. But sometimes it just, bounces the other way. Mm-hmm.
And one thing that he did mention, although Cody Stapleton, their sophomore quarterback, did get some reps in, and you said his first pass last week was an interception, a pick six. Kurt just says flat out, this is still Mason Jordan's team. It makes no sense to throw a sophomore in with a lot of these kids that are 17, 18 years old that have already been in the weight room for so long and have so much varsity experience. It's the only way that Stapleton's maybe going to get some time is probably more on the defensive side of the ball.
All right, and then we move on to the game that you'll be covering this week. It would be Chesapeake at Valley. We talked to Darren Crabtree. What do you have to say about this game?
Darren's really excited for this game. I think with the way that this is shaping up, both teams are 3-0 going into this contest. Both are probably going to be favorites in their leagues, Chesapeake in the Ohio Valley Conference and Valley with the SOC2. But the biggest thing here is to stop the running game that Chesapeake has. They were able to run the ball very efficiently against Sims Valley last week in their win. But at the same time, this is the big thing here. It's going to be, as I talk about in the preview, it's going to be the unstoppable force against the immovable object. Right now, it's, I believe from what I was checking through the stats, through 3 games, Valley has outscored their opponents 126 to 98. That's basically a 33-point advantage right there. That's going to be a big thing. They're kind of hoping it's going to be a shootout. On the other side of the ball, Chesapeake, they're going to be really slowing the ball down. The big thing here is Chesapeake's, their defense is very good. They haven't given up more than 8 points in a game this season, so that's going to be something to really look out for. You're going to be going out to the opposite side of where I'm going to be at. You're going to be in McDermott covering Northwest, hosting Notre Dame.
Yeah, it's a matchup of a team that's usually pretty good in Notre Dame, and Northwest, it's a surprise team at 2-1. And really the thing to be watching in this game, and both coaches talked about it when I spoke to them earlier this week, is Luke Brown and Kevin Lewis. Luke Brown for Northwest and Kevin Lewis for Notre Dame. Both of them are the stars on the offensive side of the ball for their respective teams. Luke Brown is averaging 8 yards a carry and is knocking on the door of 500 yards rushing. Here we are in the 3rd week. That's pretty amazing. And he is the workhorse for the Northwest. And that's something that Northwest coach Brooks Fry talked about. He said, I am not really comfortable with the amount of weight we're putting on our run game. We need our passing game to balance it out, because he said in order to beat a good team like Notre Dame, you have to be a balanced team. And for Notre Dame, they want to stop Luke Brown before he gets started. They know that he's kind of a one-cut power back, and once he gets started, it's hard to stop him. And the key, according to Bob Ashley, the coach of Notre Dame, is to hit him in the backfield before he can get on his tracks. And once one person gets to him, you got a gang tackle, because he's a difficult person to bring down. So it'll be an interesting game, and I'm really looking forward to it. And the other game that we'll be covering will be the Fairland-Berg game. And I talked to Rob Woodward earlier tonight about this game, and he said physicality is the name of the game. I know that last year Wheelersburg came away 42-22 victors in a game, but Woodward commented quite a few times when I talked to him on the phone about how physical and how hard hitting the Fairland Dragons team is. Mm-hmm. So it'll be an interesting matchup to see just how Fairland responds in their 2nd game ever against Wheelersburg. And it'll be fun to watch for us. And it's going to be a great week of football. And thank you for watching us. I'm Bob Strictly, and with me is Cody Lice. Be sure to check in for all the game action as it happens on our Twitter accounts.
This Portsmouth Daily Times morning update is brought to you by Advanced 360 Progressive Rehabilitation Center, located at 2125 Royce Street in Portsmouth. Call 354-6635 or visit advanced-360.com. Heal faster, home sooner.